Oh man, we have some great comments and questions already. Hello and welcome back to the CMON live stream. Coming to you from CMON Satellite HQ in Los Angeles, California. I'm Jeff Skinner, and today is our first week in review for our brand new campaign, DC Superheroes United. First of all, sincerely, thank you all for joining us and making this such just an exciting campaign launch. It's been a crazy week so far. Everyone here is grateful to have such amazing backers. We love the comments, the questions, the feedback here, both here and over in the campaign. So please keep them coming. We love hearing from you and seeing your theories and seeing what you think about everything as it comes out. The most fun thing I think for us is being able to see new people new to the way CMON does campaigns, or most of our campaigns, and with the slow reveals and kind of the anticipation for each one, and people coming in and getting really excited about a new stretch goal and anticipating what the next was going to be. So it's always really fun to watch. So thank you all again. We want everyone to have a great time during this campaign. Today on the show, we are going to go in depth on this week's unlocked stretch goals, talk about new gameplay that was revealed this week, show off some miniatures, and possibly reveal something brand new. As to that, I'd love to see your predictions on what that might be. I already see a bunch in the comments about what you want to see and what you think we might drop today. So let's see if anyone gets it right. Let's get on with the show. Returning to us once again, the master of CMON crowdfunding ceremonies, DC Superheroes United producer, Thiago Aranha. And of course, we have the actual author of every single master plan, designer, Andrea Chiarvesio. Hey guys, welcome back and congratulations on such an exciting first week.
Thank you all so very much for this great launch. That's all I can say.
Yeah, thank you everybody. It's been fun. Until now, it's going to be even more fun.
It's interesting because yesterday I was writing a friend and I was saying, oh, last week we launched DC Superheroes United. And then I realized, no, it was yesterday. Because I think like the launch is such a stressful full period of the campaign that it counts as at least 1 week. Like those 2 days are intense. So I'm really happy. We're always anxious before a campaign launches, and it's been great to see the reception, the reactions. Everybody's really excited about everything we're showing. I'm loving all the suggestions. I'm loving the vibe on the comment section everywhere. So I'm really glad of how this thing is going so far, and we have barely started.
That's very true, and I think that there's been some enormously exciting first few reveals, and I'm hoping we can kind of start talking about some of these crowdfunding exclusives.
Right, because even before the campaign started properly, we already had some stuff on the page, right?
Exactly, and you've also been able to introduce not only some very much asked for characters, but also integrated some new gameplay, and I think that it's worth kind of going into a little bit of a deep dive on a few of it, right? Well,
Right.
Let's try. So let's take a look at Power Girl.
Right. So Power Girl, just she is an exclusive for those getting the Titans level pledge. So this is not part of the base pledge. You need to get the Teen Titans expansion with those guys over here to get Power Girl. We wanted to give like a little something extra for those going to the $100 pledge. And Power Girl seems like a nice fit. She had her appearance in the Teen Titans series and all that. So she's a cool one. What do you have to say about her, Andrea?
Well, in terms of gameplay, she's of course one of the Kryptonians, so she has her Kryptonian physiology coming to help. And well, she shares quite a bit gameplay elements with the whole family. So, I mean, she can use her super breath, which is a flippable special. So it's a charged effect, very cool to rescue civilians and move tags. So her invulnerability will come handy too with most villains. So it's really cool hero to play.
Yeah, but then I think the real curveball here was the initial kind of 0 stretch goals, which people were really surprised by. We kind of even teased it at the end of the last version of the trailer. With I'm always surprised that people don't know these guys, because for me, like, I know maybe in Brazil, like the Super Friends were very popular, so like everybody knows the Wonder Twins. Like they're such a staple of kind of cheesy 80s, 90s cartoons. So let's Wonder Twins powers activate. Come on, I'm hanging.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess you guys can be the twins. If I threw it in there, I'd make me a triplet.
You can be Gleek. It's fine.
You can be Gleek.
Yeah. So these were a very cool thing to work on, and from the get-go, and you're like, we wanted to have their miniatures actually fist bumping, doing what they do. So yeah, it's all engineered so that when you get those minis, they will connect hands, and this is a big part of their whole mechanics as well, right? They have to do this in the actual game.
And it's really for us old people remembering the cartoon on TV on Saturday mornings, not going to school and watching cartoons on TV. They're really cool, playing together very strongly. I mean, they can be played independently, of course, and Gleek is just hilarious. I mean, a 3-player game with the two of them and Gleek is probably the best way to play with those heroes. It's a lot of fun, and they are also quite effective.
Yeah, I think this is something you're going to see occasionally throughout this campaign, like this kind of specific dynamics between characters. You know, we're going to talk about another pair here, and there will be some others in the future. But yeah, the fact that like these guys, they have a very specific synergy that like encourages you to play with these teams. They can be played separately, and you can do different combinations. But you know, like it is like you do want to see those guys on the table doing their thing. You know, and let me see if I can I do this on the camera? It's hard to see.
Yeah, you can.
And yeah, it was fun to figure out how to do turning into an animal, turning into water. So he's actually going to be half clear down, like his legs just disappear into water, and Jaina is turning into some kind of bear, I think. So there. And then the campaign proper started, and we started unlocking lots of stretch goals. I do have all of them here on my desk, so we can kind of go over them one by one. If people have any specific questions of things they want us to address and show.
Warlock 0007 asked, "Are we allowed to ask questions?" And of course, the main question is, "Where's Nightwing?" But
we are allowed not to answer as well.
you are absolutely allowed to ask any question you'd like, and we will try to get to them and answer what we can.
Yeah, this question keeps coming up. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I can't imagine. So I would love to hear a little bit about some of the new gameplay, and this is some cards, and I think things added that are going to be added for all backers that add even more variety to the core set.
Yeah, so I will go. So we thought that all DC superhero players should have access to the complication cards. So they are like identical to ones we did before, and they are kind of part of the system. So it's a great way to enhance the challenge, to increase the difficulty of any villains you are facing. And I would really encourage you to use them, to try them, to fine-tune the game to a level of challenge you feel comfortable with or uncomfortable with, if you really want the challenge.
And basically, can you just give a quick overview of what the complications challenge is? So we have this deck of cards that is seeded into the master plan, the villain's master plan deck, and basically, as the game progresses, it kind of adds kind of new effects that makes your life more complicated, right?
Exactly.
And that, I mean, things like that seem to really fit into like what DC is in terms of what it does to his heroes within the universe.
And then to be with within the universe, we also provided a few extra special and unique supervillain and superhero cards. Those are unique to DC, and they are like full of lore and references to DC comics and lore. And they just offer like some variation, some change, some variety to the superhero gameplay, which is personally one of my favorite gameplay modes. I think it's really fun when one of the players at the table is the villain trying to defeat the heroes. The talk around the table becomes immediately a lot of cross teasing and jokes, and oh, we're going to take you down. Uh, I think it's one of the funniest way to play United. So if you are if you don't want to play a full co-op game, please try that. If you're new to United, it's going to be a blast.
Yeah, I think that for the United system, that's one of my favorite aspects of the game that's just evolved over time and has gotten, there's just it's just expanded in so many different ways to make that mode, it just becomes better and better and better with each iteration.
Yeah, we kind of just realized there was a lot you could do with that little engine.
Yeah, it just keeps going. Now I know we want to, wow, time is already flying by. I know we want to get into a little bit of what we can show off in terms of miniatures, in terms of things that have been unlocked. And I'd say we start with the brand new reveal that came out this morning, the big guy, Steppenwolf.
Steppenwolf, which I was very disappointed in the comment section because Isa actually said about getting her motors running and no one guessed Steppenwolf. But yeah, here's Darkseid's lieutenant, I guess. And
lieutenant and uncle, I think, right?
I don't know. Those New God families are complicated. And this was a very interesting miniature to work on because, like, I tend to like let the artists do whatever they want with the artwork initially, and if they kind of take on the challenge, because when I got the artwork, like it's always tough because he's running on one foot, like very like leaning to the side, like very dynamic. But this is a real hard thing to do in a miniature. So, but those challenges, they kind of bring, they tend to, but sometimes it's just a lot of headache and you have to ask them to change something, but sometimes they bring something really special because thinking about, okay, if I'm doing this, I need some support on the back leg because otherwise you're just going to fall over. And then I'm thinking, okay, so what can I kind of have sticking out off the floor to hold his back leg? And then I go, okay, so Steppenwolf, he's invading, he's commanding his armies. Okay, well, then maybe there's a fallen parademon on the ground and his wing is sticking up, and then you develop the whole thing, and it makes for a much more interesting miniature with a dead parademon on the ground with a wing sticking up and him looking like really menacing and just charging you. And someone was asking to comment how big he is, so I think I'll use little Dick Grayson here as my basic human scale. So he is big. He's not quite a giant, but he's, those new gods, they are tough. He's a big guy. Maybe I'll keep Robin here nearby because I might need him.
I've got a question here from Ginger Revenger. And this is, I think, apropos of seeing this villain here. Are there going to be any anti-heroes in the DC version? And I feel like that could be a coin flip question. Two-Face says.
So speaking of big guys, someone was asking to show another big guy. So I think we could go with, I think he's the biggest one I have here, which is Despero. I don't know if that's how you pronounce him, because this guy is a behemoth. His base is even bigger than our usual 30mm base, because his stance is so wide and he's so big. So this is, look at that gorgeous mohawk. I love it. And little chibi skulls on the base. Really intimidating. I don't even like, he has everything. Like he's strong, he has mind control powers and conquering everything.
See Steppenwolf size?
He's bigger than Steppenwolf, actually. Like if you put him side by side, he's much more beefy than Steppenwolf.
It's the fast, I believe.
Yeah, he's more like Darkseid's size. Darkseid is still bigger, and he's in a more kind of imposing pose, but yeah, he's more in that scale.
Real quick, Luana Santos asked a question about the campaign. Can I pay $1 to join the campaign and then add more products during Pledge Manager, and do prices increase during the Pledge Manager? I think those are great questions for people new to Gamefound.
Yeah, so I don't think in Gamefound you don't need to do the $1 pledge. You can just follow the campaign, and then or join later on later phase. So there's no need for that. And the prices of the products, they are the same. Like nothing changes into the Pledge Manager. So
the people late pledging will be able to get the same products.
Yeah, it is the same
as during the campaign.
Yeah, it is the same deal. Like nothing changes. But let's help us out to unlock more of these goodies, because I have a lot prepared, and honestly, that doesn't mean it all makes it to the table. So we gotta get there. We have someone else joining us. What is that?
Oh.
Surprise guest. Okay, who else? Someone asked for Grodd.
Oh, Martian Manhunter is. Oh, sorry.
No, I just saw someone asking for Grodd.
Oh, okay.
So Grodd you get. So yeah, this is one of my favorites. Like look at that. This is a dramatic Shakespearean pose. And Grodd is an interesting one because like he's a powerhouse, but he's as strong as he is more of a mental challenge for the heroes. In terms of what he does, in terms of mind powers and controlling them and negating their effects. Andrea, anything you want to add there?
No, I mean it's. I think it's great to have to design such nuanced villains, because you can do many things. You can explore the 2 steps before under pressure and after they are under pressure. You can show, I mean, Grodd is going to hit you, but it's also going to confuse you. And like Steppenwolf, he's invading with his army, but it's also going after you.
And I really like that he has guerrilla warfare, where his thugs kind of run away when you try to hit them, and they move around. It's really hard to lock them down. It's just hit and run missions, and it's a pun. I'm all for a pun whenever you can get one.
And then I have such a terrible memory that sometimes is a huge advantage, because when I play a villain after a while, after I close the design, I kind of forgot 80% of what it does. So it's like brand new to me, which is, I mean, it's a curse, but it's also a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great. I think DC villains are so cool. And you can do so many things with them. That was very, very exciting, because the design flows like naturally.
Yeah, I'm really loving the variety, and people are clearly appreciating it. I see all the comments. Like whenever there's a reveal, we try to show as much as possible the mechanics, because there's so much interesting, intricate things, and like every villain doing very different things. Like some are a battle, some are basically a treasure hunt. Some are like, it's very different dynamics that you're able to bring to the table. And okay,
really,
so
it's easier when the character is it's an interesting one.
Yeah, that helps. Luckily, there's quite a few DC characters.
Yeah, most of them are. Yeah. Okay, so speaking, I would like to showcase one of the first stretch goals, which was a very nice, going back to the whole companions and pairing things. Like we have Booster Gold, Blue Beetle, and Booster Gold here, an inseparable pair. And yeah, it was great to finally bring Ted Cord into our roster. And one thing I like to point out while I have the close-up here, bring me back to the close-up, because because they were designed like together to be like an inseparable duo. Like even like if you see their bases, they are basically the same base. It just continues from one base to the next. So when you're painting or whatever, like it is the same thing that they are staying some high tech, whatever. So they're just standing there posing for their action picture.
Were there hero decks? Were they kind of designed to work together in some way?
Yes, they can help each other a little bit, but I think they are designed to be fully independent. They just get this little extra boost when they work together, which I believe it's a nice touch. I mean, I didn't want them to be playable only as a pair, but of course, to have this little extra synergy because they help each other, it's the nice touch that makes them, I believe, very interesting heroes.
Yeah, it's the icing on the cake.
Icing on the
Let me see. Okay, let's go underwater for a couple that we showed here. We have Mera versus Black Manta. Yeah, more trouble for Aquaman. Yeah, and like designing Black Manta was such a fun thing because, of course, he's known for having a huge helmet on the best of days. So like we knew, okay, like we gotta go like a couple steps beyond ridiculous because that has to be what it is. Like it's, and we just get a little bit more. Okay, no, that's a bit too far. Let's go back and
to get the proportions just right. I think on these guys because there needs to be a head underneath there that would fit.
Yeah, you can imagine a head there, a big chibi head, and yeah, it is a big helmet on a big chibi head. And then Mera with like the way she's controlling the water, you can feel like her power pushing the water, which is what she does in the game, and of course in the comics, she has this hydrokinetic powers, and this is really brought to life in the mini, which of course would be clear water here. And it's interesting because both of them use the water tokens in very different ways. Like Mera is like most of her stuff is like if she goes to a place with a water token, she gets more benefits from her cards. And meanwhile, Black Manta is using water to hide and to do his nefarious things.
I think we might want to address the why is Aquaman mandatory to play against Black Manta. Because I have read a lot of comments about that. So we wanted to be thematic, and I mean this guy really hates Aquaman. So his whole gameplay is about that. But nothing will stop you to choose another hero instead and replace Aquaman with. I mean, in a comment on the campaign, I wrote Kotrapalli. You can choose the hero you like and play Black Manta against that hero. It might be a bit less balanced and a bit less thematic, but you can still play it. So it's just treat it, please, as a strong suggestion, not like an order. Yeah, there is no board game police coming at your house and telling you, oh, you can't replace Aquaman with another hero of your choice. You can have Black Manta hunting Gleek if you want.
Like the classics. Yeah.
What I like about it, it's another first for the system. It's another just a way to use the system itself to do something completely unique and to kind of make each villain feel even more different. And going off that, Kraz has a great question for Adriano, who has been the most fun for you to design so far. 14 cards for the Martian Black Mask hiring. Who would you call out as the most fun? I imagine that's an impossible question, right?
I would guess Martian wasn't the most fun because it's like 12 different effects to create.
I mean, the point is, from one side, they are all really fun to design. I mean, in terms of pure joy, it was really Gleek. It's, I mean, just having him going and hunting for doing anything for a banana, that's really fun. So yes, in terms of fun, it was totally Gleek. I was laughing while I was chuckling while writing the effects and stuff. And I'm proud of so many of them. So it's very hard to call one. I think, yeah, Despero is a very interesting villain to face.
And actually, going off that, I like this one too. This question, VRC asks, which is the average, or sorry, yeah, what is the average time to design a villain and to test it, or a remarkable, specifically a remarkable villain of this campaign?
It takes about 1 week to design a villain, from like documentation, reading and watching and studying, trying to come out with ideas and putting together on an Excel sheet. And testing, it really depends on the villain. It can take the development team even weeks, even a month if it's a really complicated villain. We rotate villain and heroes, of course. We test them together. We try different combinations. So it's hard. While design is something that, like, I start and then I stop, and then maybe I revisit after feedback from the developers. But on that, I can tell you, yeah, it takes about between 3 and 5 working days for a good villain, or like an average complex one. Sometimes it takes a little less, but it's unusual. And development, that's really where we find out which things work or not. So it might take not much, but it might take really kind of forever. I mean, we are still tweaking little things. I mean, as I speak, I'm pretty sure maybe the developers now, they're not testing, they're watching the live stream. I saw a comment from Stefano, but I'm sure like 2 hours ago they were testing and checking things. So
Yeah, it's funny because even like right before the campaign started, I had to tell the developers, like, I don't want to know anything anymore, because they would say, oh, we think about doing this, doing that. Okay, we'll deal with this after the campaign, right? Enough. You keep working. I need to focus on the campaign. We'll get back to all the further developments that you're doing later on, because it's too much.
Well, that's just it. It seems like the main job, especially with the villains, is to take the 40 to 80 years worth of history that they've been, like you said, in all this different media, and sum them up, and to make sure that you're capturing and really crystallizing and boiling down their gameplay to what it is they're known for. So they don't, you're not, there's going to be some great storylines that just those villains maybe don't do what they're known for in those storylines. So you've really got to make sure that Mantis is a great example where, he really hates Aquaman. So it makes a lot of sense to make that part of his master plan.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I really love to go and pick something that only appears in a single story that is very obscure and try to put that, make it slide into the gameplay somehow. Maybe few people will catch the reference, but it's still there, or maybe just one episode of a TV show, or stuff like
because
that. It's always
also
fun
sometimes
to
the
include it.
more, because also the more standard thing may be similar to other things we've done before, and like if you go more into a specific event, like, oh, this can bring a whole new dynamic that we haven't explored yet.
Mm-hmm. That's good. I think we have a few more stretch goal or a few more miniatures to show off.
Well, we'll have to
one of my favorites right there.
Have to talk about John Johns. Like this was a big one. Like everybody has been missing this staple of the JLA, and yeah, he's a powerhouse. So yeah, he has 2 more cars than a usual hero, and they're all unique.
Amazing.
I mean, how else do you design a hero like that?
Right.
Yeah, it's funny because we say, oh, what does Martian Manhunter do? He does everything.
So you have telepathy, invisibility, and shape-shifting, and great strength, and regeneration, and flight, and this and that. So it's like, okay. And
everything in the kitchen table
connects. So when I was, just to make an example, when I was designing him, I didn't start from 14 cards, but then I realized he has so many powers, so many different things he does. Plus, he's an alien, So the two things were really coming well together. So okay, different physiology. Let's give him more cards so that we can also cover all the powers or most of the powers.
Yeah. And I think one last one here that I just love his look. Like he's one of the most cartoony things we've done. Parasite. Look at that mug. My God.
Thank you for making the mouth big enough for my paintbrush to fit in there.
Yeah. He's also a chunky
that.
boy, and he's also quite different. You know, his hunger, just consuming everything, and mimicking the hero powers. Like what he does depends on the cards that he kind of consumes from the heroes. Always reflecting that, and on the end game, he just starts to pump himself up because he changes. His stature changes a lot in the stories. Like he can be a very frail guy, or he can be like a huge behemoth. So that's reflected in his like under pressure mechanics. Like he's just in the late game, he just starts pumping himself up by consuming everything.
Yeah, he is a tough one.
So I think it might be time.
Is it that time?
Is it that time?
Time for something new?
For a trailer drop, maybe?
Yeah, so we have let's go for the new stuff with a little preview, and then we can talk about it.
Should we? All right. Who's it gonna be? Let's find out.
Let's go. Let's go to Metropolis.
What did everybody think? I love the art on this cover. It's one of my favorite. It just and this goes with the Teen Titans art that was revealed, or this part of the campaign already, but just it explodes off the box cover.
Yeah. Edward really wanted something, a very impactful central figure. We have Supergirl there, front and center, and some other Kryptonians and villains duking it out in Metropolis. So yeah, we're going to Metropolis. We're going full board to Metropolis and the Kryptonians and all that good stuff. Our first, we had Teen Titans, but yeah, this is our first expansion.
Well,
and we have a lot to talk about.
We absolutely do. The reactions, by the way, thank you all. The reactions are absolutely incredible. I am so excited. You all are excited by this. This is one of my favorite sets, and I think you'll see why for a variety of reasons. I guess should we start with the lineup and talk about who's in it?
Let's see who's there.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
So we have Supergirl. We have Crypto as a full-fledged hero because he's not an ordinary dog. He's a Kryptonian dog. That is special. We have Steel. We have Doomsday, and we have Brainiac.
Now, in this game, can you pet the dog?
Well, of course you can pet the dog. I can pet the dog right now.
Just want to make sure. Oh, there he is.
There's Crypto. Look how happy he is.
He is a good boy.
Yeah.
And I love that. I think that came specifically from Warner. They wanted his tongue just hanging out and his like really fun kind of lab pose, and we kind of drew inspiration from what we did with the Superman mini, having him flying over the kind of Fortress of Solitude crystals. It's just a good doggy. And of course, Supergirl, Steel, who's a big, chunky guy with his kinetic hammer.
I can't wait to find out kind of the differences between like his play and Superman's play.
Yeah, Steel is quite different. Yeah, we're gonna go into all this.
Yeah.
So guys, keep practicing your non-metallic metals skills for this guy. You're gonna need it. Andrea.
A lot of great comments on everyone really likes Brainiac. That is a
Wait until you have to
Menacing.
face him.
Yeah. So Brainiac is interesting. So again, his art kind of reflects who he is. Like he's the brain guy. He's a mastermind. He's not. His thing is not, I'm going to punch you. So like having him just sitting there with the cables connected to his alien chair. And I love the design of this thing. Like even on the back, like how to make a sitting guy feel interesting and dynamic and imposing. I'm really impressed with what they were able to pull with
Really
this.
complicated sculpt.
Yeah, not easy to pull off.
That is,
but I think it reflects the character so well. He's just there scheming his little dirty schemes. And he's a collector, so I think most of our fan base will identify with him, in some way. And then, since I'm showing minis, I might as well show the biggest one of all. We have Doomsday, who's a big guy, very spiky, so be careful when you're holding that mini. And you have a little Easter egg there on the base, some tethered cloth.
He's huge. Could I see the size between, say, he and Doomsday?
No, I'm gonna first. I'm gonna do our classic human scale.
There we
Little
go.
Robin. So he's not quite as big as Doomsday, I believe, but it's not a big difference. I'm trying to see if I'm lining up. Yeah. But yeah, he's a big boy. And we have Supergirl, our very happy-go-lucky Kryptonian.
Yeah, she's the headliner. She got the biggest picture on the box cover, and I think rightfully so.
Yeah, she's great.
It's fun to see the different ways the sculptors figure out, because there's so many flying characters, and I can't imagine it's so much fun just to figure out new ways to get them up in the air.
Yeah, so much fun.
Not a challenge at all.
Yeah. But okay, let's. I think before we dive into this, we have a next slide that reveals some new stuff on this box, right?
New stuff. I think that. Oh.
Yeah.
So this is interesting. So does this one come with a hero deck?
Not quite. Let's talk about Jimmy Olsen and support characters.
For the first time, we are introducing to the United System supporting characters. Supporting characters are not heroes, neither villains, of course. You can include them in any game. And they will be there helping the heroes somehow, each one of them in their own specific way. For instance, Jimmy will inspire you to be more heroic, so he will allow you to convert other actions into heroic actions where he is. But there is a downside. You have to care and worry about those supporting characters, because if their location ever overflows, they're going to be discarded, and there is a penalty attached to that. So it's a really interesting addition to any game, and was something new that we were really excited to try, and it feels great on the table. So we have gray miniatures as well now.
Yeah, because this is just, I think, when we're discussing the roster from the very beginning, like we said, there are these interesting kind of NPCs which aren't really heroes. Like we can't give them a full hero deck, but they are so integral to the lore, into the story. And so we kind of went in this NPC route, and it became this support character category, which they don't belong to any player. They are kind of a neutral element in the game. They each have different rules in terms of where they start, how they move, even like what the overflow does, like the consequences of having them there. So they bring you something. Of course, they're helping you out, but the fact that they are there weighs on the heroes. They need to be mindful of them. They need to protect them in different ways. And Jimmy, like he's such a cool guy. Like I love his has such attitude, like a spunky kid with his camera, and he just follows around like the villain or the heroes, trying to be in the middle of the action, get the best photograph of what's happening, and at the same time when he's there, he will inspire you to be more heroic and do more. So even for those characters that don't have access to a lot of heroic actions, if you have Jimmy there, you might be able to do more than even you thought capable of.
Yeah, I mean, this concept I just think is fantastic because it honors some of the biggest characters from the DC universe. These characters, Jimmy Olsen carried a book by himself for 30, 40 years, and many more that may or may not come up soon of these supporting characters, out of that universe are fan favorites. And what a great way to integrate them, I think, in a very meaningful way into the gameplay.
Yeah, I think I really fell in love with him with reading Deceased. Like, he has such a beautiful kind of arc there. His presence, like, he's the embodiment of that, just do the right thing and have hope and all that. So I was really happy to have him here as a supporting character, just getting himself in the middle of the action and helping his pals up.
Sure. Should we check out the next slide?
Yeah. Let's move on to talk about
a lot of great comments on Jimmy. I'm glad everyone's excited about that. It seems like a really, really good idea. Okay, so this is some gameplay for the heroes in the box.
Yeah, just showing off a bit of what these guys do. Andrea, do you remember what any of them do?
Absolutely. Well, still is like very different from the other characters in the box. Is more equipment oriented, so you might really want to play him with equipment. And he has armor and, of course, the big hammer and the jet boots. I think it's a very, very solid hitter all around, able to take some hit, not as many as the Kryptonians, of course. And Supergirl, I mean, how do you make all those characters? That was really a challenge. How do you make all the Kryptonians like similar but different? And I think we succeed. You will see when they are on the table. Even if, of course, there are recurring powers and similarities between them, because basically they share the same powers.
The power
but
set.
They have the power set is
the power set is the same,
similar,
but the way they go about it is different. Because how I see Supergirl, she's basically like, she's very equivalent to Superman, but where Superman is the hard hitter, she is like the more heroic version of that. So the things that Superman does that are more geared toward like fighting, she is more towards rescuing and being a hero. So it's similar, but they each find their role to play and they complement each other.
Exactly. So when you play them together, you don't feel you are playing like the same character, but they are totally different. And when Crypto, everybody loves Crypto. I really love the card. The dog hates everybody. I mean, all the others are nice, but this dog hates everybody. It's so cool.
Yeah. So Crypto, he's a loyal buddy. So he's all about like rescuing people and helping the heroes out. Like, he has a strong like supporting role in terms of helping people around. But he also has the dog hates everybody. Like, he can be mean sometimes, and especially if you're not a Kryptonian, you gotta be careful with Crypto, because when he goes wild, he goes wild.
I love games when Crypto bites Batman or Flash.
That's great.
All right, let's take a look
at the villains, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have just a little glimpse here of some of the villain stuff, and it's interesting, like, because these villains, they are completely different from each other. Like, I was reading up on them, and it's amazing how, like, it doesn't even, like, it's not the same game when you look at both these guys, because you have Doomsday. He's a powerhouse. He's a blind force of fury and destruction, and Brainiac, he's just sitting there and sending his probes and doing his things. Talk a little bit about them, please.
They're like, really, as Thiago said, polar opposites. So Doomsday will just try to crash you. He wins if you are all KO at the same time, and even if you have protections and even if you ignore damage, don't think that won't happen. It will happen. More often than you think.
Yeah, and people notice. People notice he doesn't have any health, because like, you kill Doomsday, he comes back. Like you don't kill Doomsday. You just make it worse.
Exactly. So what you do, you try to imprison him, and it's not going to be an easy task because each time he bams, it deals damage, and then it jumps on the other side of the board. And you need him to be under pressure, go where he is, place an heroic, spend an heroic action to put a crisis token on him. And you need to do that 4 times in order to win, 3 if you're playing solo. So, believe me, it's really a challenge. I can read Stefan in the comments. He still has PTSD from playing against Doomsday. Yes, that's exactly how it should be.
Yeah, it's funny because you have a whole mini game of preparing yourself and getting the stuff you need to imprison him and then execute that plan. It's a whole operation you need to do too.
That's where you might need Jimmy Olsen, yeah, to go there and help you, just to turn that movement or that punch into the right heroic to help setting the deal. While Brainiac is totally different. So yeah, he's going to try to corrupt the civilians that you already have saved. So he has a very, very twisted and unique gameplay. Also, he starts the game under pressure. So he will play every 2 hero turns from the very beginning. So watch out because it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, and he uses a lot. He fights a lot through his probes, which he used the thug token to represent them. And it's all about he mostly like sits back and lets his probes do his dirty business and trying to prepare his whole invasion to take over Earth. And I mean, one interesting thing about Doomsday is there are no thugs when you're fighting Doomsday because it's like it's just civilians in panic and Doomsday just rampaging and taking them out. So again, completely different. Like even the board looks different when you're fighting these two bad guys.
So these guys look tough, but they aren't the only challenges in the box.
Right.
No.
We also have
Kryptonians can be kept in check with some Kryptonite, of course. Like we had to bring Kryptonite into the game in the form of a challenge.
So it's a very unique challenge. Is designed for Kryptonian heroes. However, it's better if you have in the team somebody that is not from planet Krypton, just to help you getting rid of those shards. So it's basically shards will spread over locations.
But like the shards are given to the villain. The villain will spread the shards. So the villain is moving around and placing shards where they move, and that is going to really make it a bad day for the Kryptonians.
Because if you start the turn in a location with a shard and you are a Kryptonian, all your specials are treated as blank, which is really bad. You can get rid of them. It will require 2 heroic action. If you are not a Kryptonian, it will only cost you a single heroic action. So that's why it's probably a good challenge for mixed teams.
You can get Gleek to go around cleaning up those Kryptonite shards with a bucket, just throwing them in the bucket.
He was designed just for that.
Gleek the janitor, getting rid of the Kryptonite.
Yes.
And so just like most of our expansions, this allows... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No,
I was going to say... I was going to say that the nice thing about the expansions is they allow, I think, a deep dive into some locations of some of these iconic places.
Yeah, of course. It is called Metropolis, right? So
that's right. Yeah. So let's check out some locations from Metropolis. And what a great way to explore just some of these extremely well-known... I mean, come on, the Fortress of Solitude. This is great.
Yeah, we have Daily Planet. It's one of the most iconic places in Metropolis, and having access to the news will help you discover in the future plans of the villains. And if there are enough civilians at the planet, maybe you can even delay or change them, so you can put like MasterCards at the bottom, which is really
I even remember when I first read the effect for the planet, I wrote Andrea about kudos to the team, like, because you need staff on the Daily Planet, like you need civilians there, and if you have civilians there, then you can really use the Daily Planet to its best of its abilities, to really uncover and manipulate the master plan deck, because you have the information that you need. And the other one was
we have LexCorp, and that's going to make most games where you have LexCorp in play a bit more difficult. It won't affect villains with no health, but about the villains you need to damage, then it's going to be harder, because in LexCorp and adjacent locations, villains will ignore 1 damage in each turn, in each hero turn. So
LexCorp protects the villains, which is very fitting. But I really like Star Labs. I think it's a very interesting location, because it has all the technology that it produces, and it really it's the whole escalation thing, because one of the things I mentioned that you bring a lot into, and you can see here, I have 3 locations with those permanent effects. Some of them positive, some of them negative, and Star Labs is I think it's the only thing in the game that you can go there and you can do something to cancel those effects. So you can use the technology from Star Labs to negate some of the things and shut down a location that is causing you trouble. So all the synergy between all the elements in the game, I think, is really fantastic.
I think it might be the key on many games, if you have Star Labs, to just take out the negative permanent effect from a location. And I mean, I love on a thematic point of view the fact that henchmen cannot leave the striker's penitentiary.
It locks henchmen in there. You can send thugs, you can lock them up, send them from other locations to the penitentiary. It makes perfect sense. And then the Fortress of Solitude, thugs just cannot go there. It's a sacred place. It's a haven. So you can go there, keep it empty. Of course, if things go south, it's very limited space there. You need to keep it clean. But you go there, you meditate, you prepare yourself for battle. It's the best place to go before facing a big bad.
Yeah, it's also kind of a development nightmare, because the fact that tags are moved to the next location causes so many overflow in the next clockwise location, and Fortress can still overflow because of civilians, but it's a bit less likely to happen. And the effect is pretty good, but you're also going to hurt yourself. Plus, if you are not alone, you cannot use it. If the villain is there, you cannot use it. If a support character is there, you cannot use it.
Right, so the whole thing is the solitude, right? You need to be alone there to really benefit from it. Okay, we're running out of.
We are almost out of time.
One more thing. So this expansion, it is going to be a retail expansion. It is going to hit eventually retail, which means we have some exclusive bonuses for people getting it during the campaign, which we should talk about them. And yes, we have Superboy, Connor Kent, and we have Lois Lane as a support character. And these are very juicy bonuses, I must say.
Absolutely.
2 bonuses for this one, and wow, look at that sculpt on Superboy. That's great.
Yeah, Superboy again. Flying people are always a challenge. How do you make it work? This is a different way to do it. We really want it to be hanging there, so just a little debris holding him by the leg, and his iconic goggles and jacket, looking all bad boy. Yeah, we had to bring Connor, especially because we didn't have him in DC. I said, no, we need to have this Superboy needs to be the Superboy in DC United.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And again, he's a different take on the Superman kind of character, right?
Yeah, his telekinesis is a flippable card. His superhuman stamina is very different from Superman or Supergirl invulnerability. So it's a different take. He's a bit more of a team player, I would even say, just a little bit. So I think it's, again, just a different take on those powers. And Lois, she's an investigative reporter, so she will help you solving the threats. She's there to investigate and help you clearing the threats around the board. And yes, for people asking, Superman can go to the rescue and save her faster than light. Yeah.
So there are two things, right? First is like she can go around. You can send her to clear a threat, and she just goes by herself and helps clear a threat. But if the threat is a henchman, then like Superman can fly there and fight the henchman himself. So I think that again, a very thematic thing that we kind of had to bring with when introducing Lois to the game. And like her overflow thing is also very specific in terms of if her location overflows, like Superman needs to go there and fight to save her. And the thing is, if Superman loses Lois Lane, like it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing at all. It's basically game over.
I mean, yeah.
Well, it is actually game over for the live stream as well. We're about to hit the hour mark. I wanted to thank everyone for coming. Thiago, Andriano. Also, we'll leave you with painted versions of all the miniatures. We can't ever not help ourselves to show all of these off, but that's everybody but Crypto up there.
Yeah, we didn't get some of the painted minis didn't get in here in time, so yeah, there will be a few missing here and there.
But an amazing reveal. I would love to hear from you in the comments here or over at the Gamefound, who your favorite reveals were from today, and also who else you'd like to see coming up. Now, Thiago, real quick, when is this going to go live?
Up to you. It should be quick. It should go live as soon as this is over. You can go there. You can check the update. We have all the breakdown of this thing, and you can add it to your pledge just by clicking. And yeah, it should be. Don't bug Isa too much. It should be coming up very soon. Be patient, but yeah, it will be there.
We'd love to see you all over the Gamefound, where hopefully we'll unlock a few more stretch goals today.
Yeah, and remember, like this is just the beginning. We have like. Yeah. It's a 3-week campaign. We have a lot of things. Don't
it was a 3-day week.
All the things you're hoping for will be here, and most of them won't because you're asking for everything. And
yes,
so no.
And we aim to please. Well, thank you all very much, Thiago, Andrea. We'll see you next week for our week in review. And I will say, week 2 is going to be even bigger. We've already started planning the show for next week, and we do not know how we're going to fit it all in. So wish us luck.
We're going to have to rush the next live streams because it's going to be a lot to cover.
Absolutely. Anyway, thank you all, and we will see you next time.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.